Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I was waiting for Facebook. All right. Good morning. This is going to call to order the Kingsburg Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, and our start time is 8:04. So second item on the agenda is to open the floor to public comment. We're all here today. No Lauren. No Lauren. Okay. Public comment? Hearing none, we will move on to item number 3, approve the minutes from the 4/2/24 as presented by City Clerk Abigail Paulsgaard. Do we have a motion in a minute?
So moved.
Safarjan? Okay, Safarjan motioned and did Michelle second?
They're not
They're not here?
Did I forget to attach them?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did as
I read them
email.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 4, Oat and Oak proposal possible action. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How you doing? Morning. Awesome. So, basically, I'm just coming forward today with the updated proposal that you guys requested for our monthly social media contract. If you look at the chart here, the A column, that sort of A plan is what I recommend that we should be doing. It's pretty much what we are doing now with a couple minor adjustments. Specifically, the performance reporting going to quarterly instead of monthly. That way we can just see, broader trends and whatnot, and then really just focusing on the meta platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. On the right-hand column, that B plan is essentially that, except at a cheaper price to meet your guys' budget. And to do that, we would just do 2 less posts a month, which takes down on my time for content creation. And then for additional event coverage, that would just be as needed, so to speak. So if we have big festivals coming up, like the Swedish Festival, it would just be billed hourly instead of incorporated into the plan. So those are really the 2 different changes that are happening here.
Those
yeah.
additional events would also include, like, you went out and filmed not filmed, but you were there for pictures with the, thank you, with the news station that came.
Yeah, stuff like
right,
that.
stuff
right.
like that.
Stuff that
So
isn't
that-
specifically highlighting, the local
Got it.
bid businesses, but more of just events that are happening downtown.
And that would all be billed hourly.
Correct. Yeah.
What's that? pay?
$200 an hour for that.
Okay.
So usually, if I was there for an hour, that's what that would be.
Okay.
And then that includes obviously post-production and everything else. But
What was the other thing that item A included but not B, other than the additional? You said it, and I
Those
missed
organic
it.
posts on the top, right?
yeah, so just continuing the 12 posts that we do a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
missed
that's what
that.
we're doing right now.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries,
Missed that.
no worries.
How much time would you say you spend on additional event coverage, out of curiosity?
It varies month to month depending on how many, festivals are going on. Going down for the Swedish Festival, 3 days, that's going to be probably, 3 hours, at least a minimum of 3 hours down there a day. But then we'll have some lulls, where there's not really, the chamber, for instance, has a gap in their schedule as they're calming down. So that would
But
obviously be less.
in theory, there's the Swedish Festival, the
Crayfish,
the St. Lucia, the
car show,
business opening, the car show.
all that
I mean,
stuff.
easily we're talking about 15 to 20 hours a year if you stretch it out over that time, right?
Yeah, relatively, and then incorporating, like you were saying, media that's coming in, ABC or KC or
That couple
any of
you
those
had
other
come
events.
in for the extra Instagram thing, you spent time with them too.
Yeah, with that influencer,
Yeah.
he spent an
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
weekend with
And that's sort of, what we're doing is sort of more than just the managing social media. That's sort of where that engagement and coordination comes into play, where it's trying to create relationships with other entities to bring attention to Kingsburg, answering questions that people direct message us, you know, hey, you know, someone's asking, hey, what are the new restaurants that opened up in town? So then it's taking time to respond to them. So it's that engagement and coordination part is a big part of what we're doing monthly too, other than just posting, you know, 12 times a month.
Well, and right now, that additional event coverage that you're not even getting paid for is at least a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours a month. That, I mean, to include that for 500, I feel is very fair, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, thank you.
I will say that I had been approached by a downtown person, and they asked me, are we paying the bid person, the content creator Quinn, but they didn't know his name, to create social media coverage for chamber events when I'm paying for the chamber and I'm paying for the bid. Feels like we're paying the bid guy to do the chamber events. So that was something I didn't really know how to reply with. So I don't know if we should split the bill for individual events, or because the car show afterwards was amazing, but we're footing the bill for it and it's a chamber event, and that's kind of a good point. I didn't
There's
really know
definitely
how to answer that.
some crossover there. And the way I saw it for, you know, all the events the chamber puts on, which are the majority of them, the chamber's doing all the work, but they're happening downtown. And so that's sort of our responsibility to highlight and cover that and advertise and promote it. But you're right, there is some overlap there that, you know, we
Yeah,
can get
there's overlap
clarification
if you're talking about like an additional event, paying for that, billed hourly.
On the backside of that,
Yeah, but
on the backside of that, I've been approached by chamber members who have accused us of taking credit because we're posting it on our side.
But they don't have
So-
anything on their side,
So,
The social media.
it's like, do we just like,
Yeah,
it's chamber so we don't show up?
it is hard. There's a lot of different viewpoints in the same district.
if we were posting a tremendous amount about the fireworks, which doesn't happen in our district, or something that doesn't happen, you know, I don't know that downtown Kingsburg posts grand openings that are happening over in the business park type of thing, because it's not within our district. Then I could, you know, if we were doing a lot of that, I could see it. I think we should do some of it. I mean, I think we should support Kingsburg High School, you know, some of their major events, you know, just a quick post of some of their major events, because then that it just draws people to Kingsburg and hopefully to downtown. You know, there's got to be some crossover and that.
Yeah,
And in all actuality, Kingsburg Chamber of Commerce is a bid member.
right.
So if they're having a function, we should endorse
But maybe we
that.
don't pay, $250 for event coverage, that's where I think it was like, if we're paying for additional events, whose events are they? And who should pay the bill? I think that was more that question.
I mean, if we go with Route A, we're not paying for any specific event. We're paying for all events.
Right.
That could be considered additional events. We're not singling out chamber events.
Okay.
So the answer to the question could be, no, we're not favoring the chamber and singling out events. You know, if you business owner close off the downtown and pay for an event, we're gonna come and, make a
Right.
big post about your whole event, and that's what we're asking Quinn to do, and not just.
With A,
I could
but
see,
not B.
I could see why both, like you
Yeah.
said, there's.
There's also a lot of, we're such a mixed group of business owners, so everyone's representation is gonna look different. So it's kind of hard. You have businesses paying into this budget and they have closed books, they're not looking for clients, they are closed during events. Like, if we spend, that's like 80% of our annual budget on social media. Are we, allocating the right amount for all businesses? I don't know, that's a lot. I feel like a lot of our budget.
Sure. Yeah, that's a valid question.
And it is a valid question. I think, like you both said, we could probably go back and forth all week long about it.
Yeah. My other question is, a year ago, we sat here as a board, which the board has transitioned, and we set a maximum budget of $1,000 based on our need. I don't think our need has changed. I think that when Quinn bid the job, you did the $9.99 and you exceeded that. But I don't know that we need to increase our budget if our need's not grown. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels like a 150% jump in 12 months. It does feel a little bit, like, it makes me pause, is all I'm trying to say. It's not
No,
that it's
yeah.
not worth it, but do we need that?
Sure, yeah,
But
and that's something you
I feel
guys,
like one of the, sorry, I feel like part of the conversation we had last month and the month before was that you're already doing the work that covers this cost without getting paid for it.
Right.
So it's, like you said, the need hasn't changed, but a year ago, which I wasn't here a year ago, that was the price that we could pay, and now you're coming forward and saying, look, I'm spending X amount of hours every month covering events and making posts and answering 200, responses on the post to make sure that we get people to know about Kingsburg. And this is really what my time's worth. So it's our job to make sure that you're compensated for that time, or we're going to have to go out and start over and
Right.
find somebody else, which we don't want to do. And the chamber also sponsors, you're active with the chamber events because they sponsor 90% of the events that bring people into downtown, which
Yeah.
benefit businesses, whether they're closed or not. It brings people here. So I think you're doing a great job.
yeah, no, thank you.
He's also, and it's something that's not really, talked about here. He has been our face to go out and to engage with businesses that a year ago would not interact with us. Real estate agencies, insurance agencies, financial institutions that a year ago were not interacting with us, but now they have some organic posts and some openings and things like that. I don't even think he's really talked about that in here. So, I don't think that we all really understood exactly what our needs were gonna look like, and that was a good starting point, a year ago. And it looks like and if you look in column A, what he really needs is $3,000 a month, and he's still gonna give us a break of 25.
And I get that's what he needs, but is that what we need? Like, do we need to spend that much every year of our budget on just one thing?
Yep. But let's look at it, so let's look at it this way. We don't give him the raise, he cuts back these two, and he no longer does event, coverage. What is that gonna look like?
Well, we didn't ask for event coverage in the original. We asked for 12 organic posts, so that could be wherever you want it to be, at a business, at an event. We didn't define event as a different thing than covering a business. I'm just looking at the original a year ago when we said, hey, this is what we need, and we had multiple people come bid it, to then a year later be like, we're gonna use the same exact format, but over double price.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not
No,
worth
of
it,
course
so
not. I'm
I
not-
personally think you're doing a great job, but when we have other people's money we're spending, I just pause because that's a big jump in 1 year. And are we doing a contract? Are we locked into this price for a year?
Yeah, well, this is all month to month, and going back, to the $1,000 a month. There's people out there that could do that, but just at the level that I'm doing at it,
Right.
it's just not feasible as a business model for myself. And I don't think I could provide a plan for that amount of money that would be worth it. So that's sort of where I am. I've been providing essentially $3,000 worth of month coverage for the last year at $1,000. And so I just need to get up to market rate for my work, because that's also when other businesses approach me and they ask for what I charge, and I say, I do all this work for Kingsburg for $1,000 a month.
And we
I can't
heard
guarantee
that.
that to everyone.
We heard that
So-
last year when we put that we never really publicly stated the amount, but
Right.
it was public because we said it out loud. We were told that it wasn't going to get us very many bids and quotes, so I hear
Right.
what you're saying about that, but yeah, it's 80% of our budget on just one category. I don't know. And we have less than 4,000 followers, which is less than, 20% of Kingsburg, right? We haven't grown 4,000. We've grown about 1,500, I think.
We started around
I haven't the
2,000,
number.
somewhere around there.
Okay, so we've
Yeah.
grown about 1,800.
So almost double.
Yeah.
And some of which are coming from the tourist thing. I don't know. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I pause on 150% increase for essentially the same content.
I don't, because it may be 150% in cost, but it's not 150% increase in what we're getting for our money.
Right. But if you have an employee who goes above and beyond what you ask them to do and then tells you, can I have a 150% raise, you might say, well, I'm paying you to do the contract, So I just swear, I don't know. This is it's a big chunk.
If you have an employee that goes above and beyond and you don't give them some incentive and some bonus or some pat on the back or something,
Yeah.
you're going to lose that employee. If they're that good, you're
Yeah.
going to lose that employee.
And I don't disagree with an increase. I just don't know that 150% is where we should put, 80% of our budget.
Yeah, so your question is, what should the bid budget be for social
Yeah,
media?
how much of
expenditure
our
for that?
annual budget, which we established last month as $50,000, how much of that gets allocated to social media
Sure.
management?
Yeah.
Specifically just social media, not even really marketing, just social media, when not everybody,
Yeah.
Isn't social media the marketing?
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
would
yeah.
argue that while I'm signed
like
up.
banner, we would have all the things, we've talked about doing window decals, we've talked about doing community outreach. That's all probably part of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be outside of his pay.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, the banners, that's true, we're not doing that on my part. But I would say there's more than just social media marketing when we are incorporating, news agencies coming down, working with them to come down and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, obviously there's a discussion for the board and not myself, how you guys are gonna spend your money. I guess my other question is just what other expenses do you have that perhaps you were interested in doing aside from marketing the bid? I know the trash cans, that's a big one coming up, so you want to make sure you have money set aside for that.
We always get asked to help sponsor some of these events, so we have to put a little budget into that.
Sure.
Abigail, does the city of Kingsburg have a budget for social media?
That's a great question. No, we do it internally. We don't pay someone.
Okay, so you don't use an outside party?
No.
We pay an intern, so
Yeah,
we pay
an
an intern,
Yeah.
like an hourly rate to work here, and that's part of their job.
Okay.
So technically, yes.
I was just wondering if they had like a line item, like we allocate 80% to social media, obviously our needs are different for our budget, but just curious, like most companies aren't gonna spend 80% of a budget on social media.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I go to both meetings, the chamber and the bid, and in the perspective that I have, if you didn't have chamber doing all these festivals, you would be responsible for doing all of those things downtown. So you'd be spending a lot of your budget on that. The chamber is doing 99.9% of all of that work, bringing people down here, which entirely benefit the bid. Not necessarily the rest of Kingsburg, but definitely your district. And so if you guys are paying for the event coverage, to me, that would be a small part of that. That would be your part of those festivals that are benefiting your district.
Yeah.
In a kind of as a partner with the chamber. What does concern me is the comment that, Leslie, that you made, if they think you're taking credit. I think that could be a conversation with maybe one of you and one of the chamber.
We're working on that.
Board.
We're trying to make
sure
it
that was clear, but I know I've been at these meetings. You asked Quinn to come back with numbers, and he's sharing numbers of the work that he's already doing. If you're not spending the money already on something else, and I know the bid has been established for how many years now?
3.
3. If you're not spending it on something else, then this is bringing people downtown. People are seeing what Quinn, I look forward to all the posts that he's doing. I think it would be detrimental to pull back on the festivals because that draws people down here. And as the bid, to me, that would be like your small portion of helping out the chamber when they're doing the job and the hard volunteer hours and work. I've seen that for 8 years when I've gone to those meetings, and they are volunteering like it's a full-time job.
It is.
Michelle was on the chamber before. Like it's a full-time job doing all of those things. And like to have Quinn come out and do like cover the festivals, to me, that would be like the bids portion of that.
That's
the
a
small
good
portion.
I'm gonna keep that note because that's a good, rebuttal is not the right word, explanation for someone that asks about that. So thanks, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you guys, I anticipated a discussion over finances for us. And I kind of looked into some of the people that bid this before, and I kind of looked into like some influencers and different things like that. It is 80% of our income, but we would be paying far more than anyone else. Even at $2,500 a month, we are still getting a lot of bang for our buck. I know it's a lot of money, but to go backwards now, I just feel like it would be, I think like our presence would disappear, what we're building on. I really do. And this isn't a lifelong, we're not, locking in here for, 45 years on a contract. It's month to month. And if we came back 6 months and we reevaluated this and we weren't feeling Mr. Quinn was giving us, $2,500 worth it, then we could go back and we can fire him. We can change the schedule. We can ask him for new numbers. We can do all of that. I just really feel like at this point, I mean, the only other social platform that people have been talking about is TikTok.
No.
And I don't really want to do that.
Most government agencies aren't on
No,
there.
we can't do
Yeah.
that, So, I mean, these two social media veins, and I really believe that if we support him, that he is going to go in and he's going to be bringing in those other businesses that are not talking to us. He talks to KCC, the churches, like that is like all, how many kids are in these churches? And so those people are starting to come forward too. And he really is he's our face at this point, because none of us seem to have, a whole lot of time. People come and find us when they're not happy, but they don't when they are happy.
True. It's so true.
So, but they're always happy to see Quinn. So, that's my point.
Two things, if I can bring up. Was with Quinn, introduced him to Terry at West America Bank, which West America Bank's a member, they just haven't paid yet, and a corporation type thing. He talked to Terry, introduced himself, or I introduced him, and they discussed public service, what West American Bank does. They have so many hours they are supposed to put in to help the community, and they help when it comes to a lot when it comes to ringing the bell. They count all the money, they bank all the money for caps down there. They do some things, and so he jotted down those type of events so that here again we can capture some more of the giving of Kingsburg, and that it's just not a bank, it's people locally involved, and that makes Kingsburg what it is today. The second thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make a motion to accept the contract from Ode and under Schedule A. And I do think, that's the end of my motion, but I do think we need to commit to at least till the end of the year. I mean, month to month is, he can't plan his life as far as scheduling and events and all that if we just say, you have a 30-day contract. I think this board should at least, if not in writing, just mentally commit to the end of the year and then revisit. So that's my motion.
Is that part of your motion?
Sure.
I'll
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One
Who's gonna
opposed.
oppose the number?
You said you're opposed.
Yeah,
Yes,
not the value,
one
just
opposed.
the number.
Yeah. All right, motion passed. Thank you.
All right. And just one other thing. I know at the last meeting, there were some discussions about sort of oversight and if you guys have businesses that you want to highlight. I am all for that. You know,
Okay.
if there's businesses that you feel like haven't been highlighted or that need some special recognition, like by all means, just message me or talk to me and we can make that happen.
I was wondering that too, if we could submit a list or
Yeah.
a list of what's been done, because Lauren had said she asked like a couple meetings ago for what businesses were covered in the first year. So I did go through, and there was about 30-something businesses covered in the first year, which I feel is good because they're not all active on social media.
Right.
But if we could almost like not post those ones again and have the feed be committed to another set of new business, not new, but newly covered businesses this year. Because there's certain businesses that get highlighted on the feed post multiple times because
They're
they're
sharing
a
the-
staple, no, not even the shares, but like with a collaborative post.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they have a cute corner in town and it gets
Yes. Yeah.
posted more, or they have a business that's very unique to Kingsburg, so theirs is on there many, many times.
Right.
So that just having
A good-
because there's 180 businesses, so
Yeah.
if we've done 35, we want to do a new 35 goal,
Right.
you know? For like
So
a-
some
Okay,
of those,
question.
some of those
So
businesses
then-
though,
No, I'm not talking about in the stories. I'm talking about the content he is creating.
Okay.
So when he creates content for June, there's like, sometimes there'll be 2 in 1 month. And so we're saying maybe we'll put one, you know, like, obviously her business is going to be part of the Swedish Festival, part of Santa Lucia. But if we're paying for a certain number each month, that we're using a variety of businesses on the feed, not talking about story shares, because that's based on what the businesses are creating. But when he's going out and creating content,
so if
he's
he
using
created
what's
one
there.
for you last year, you're not on the list this year.
Exactly. I don't expect to be shared until some of my neighbors have been shared. You know, so I've been one in the whole year. For example, Bella Bakery the other day, that was like their 4th one in the last 12 months. So maybe we're just diversifying the people that are getting shared on the feed. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about stories.
Right.
The content we are paying him to create.
I would say just one challenge with that is a lot of these businesses, such as like Sven's Boutique or Bella, because they are so sort of beautiful, downtown, iconic, it looks really good on our feed. And so I think it would almost be like a disservice not to promote them for a year. I
Yeah.
think if you're just like,
I
for
get
instance,
that,
a lot of
yeah.
those businesses, perhaps if they're just, you know, they're service or banks. If I'm following Kingsburg downtown, I may not be as interested in, you know, seeing what the banks are offering for their promotional APR, you know,
Yeah.
rather than,
Yeah, I
you
get
know,
that.
Bella
But when I
Baker's
have a
doing a
store that
downtown
tells
bike
me,
ride.
I've been a bid member for 3 years, I've never appeared on social media,
Yeah.
Have
and
they
I've seen
asked?
the bakery 4 times.
Have
So
they asked?
I'm just saying, I don't know, I don't know their background.
Then I would challenge us.
So I did suggest they
I
reach
would
out to him, but.
Yes.
Challenge
Yeah.
us to recognize those people.
Well, there's
and-
100 of
and-
them.
But you specifically went and did the homework, okay? So you said you have a neighbor. Call up Quinn and go introduce him to the neighbor and create that relationship. Because as a board member, that's our responsibility. Instead of just standing around bitching about it, we need to actually get involved and actually do that kind of thing.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
And we could also invite them to come to the meeting
We
if
do.
they want to get involved. I mean, I'm saying if someone specifically comes and says,
Yeah.
hey, what is the bid doing for me? I would
Yeah.
say,
Every time somebody comes to me and says, what are you guys doing for me? Where'd my money go? Go come to a meeting on
come
Tuesday
to a
mornings.
meeting, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I believe that the chamber has the same challenge. It's like,
Yeah.
well, come to a chamber meeting to see what they do when they put on a festival and then, have that conversation. But I do agree with, I think what maybe Amanda is leaning towards is having us board members, if we could get it involved a little bit more. I know I've been really quiet the last few months because I'm still trying to navigate what my role is on the board, but I would definitely want to find where I can get plugged in and get more involvement, and maybe that will help with.
Yeah, bridge the gap of helping him
For sure.
find
Yeah.
new businesses
That's
that
for
want to
sure.
work with you as well. That's was my point. Was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not pay to post the same businesses
Of
every
course.
month. Let's have some variety. And
Yeah.
if we need to help you with the variety, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm
And
I
open,
don't
I'm
think
open to
that
that.
Quinn necessarily needs help with the variety or the post.
Well, he does, 'cause
Steve
he's
made
saying
a-
they don't
Steve
reach
made a
out to
really
him.
good
They don't
point.
reply to his
What he
DM.
needs is he needs somebody, when somebody comes to you and they're complaining.
That's what I mean
then
by
you
help-
make the connection,
Helping
right?
connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not helping him create.
I mean,
the
some of
content.
these folks, if you're an optometrist, you might not have any idea, number one, that you can post, and number two, what kind of content you'd even create.
Yeah, but you paid for it. So.
Reggie had a.
Yes, Reggie.
Can you remind everybody how they would get their story shared?
Not stories. This is the content Quinn is creating.
I know, I
Yeah.
know. Can you remind everybody how you would get your story shared and other things? Because I know I see a lot of the same ones, and my question is what am I doing wrong that my stories don't ever get shared?
Do you tag
Yeah.
at Kingsburg Downtown?
Okay, that's what I need.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
no, that's about.
So maybe we need to share that.
Yeah,
That's
sure, of
Okay.
course.
With everybody, yeah,
Yeah.
And he has had some posts.
which I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the education factor.
You could literally do one of your content blocks for the month. Do a how-to
Yeah.
and
Well,
post that.
yeah, and one of the things too, the training that is part of this. In the past, I've been attaching training at the end of our monthly reports, but it's really, we end up running out of time to even talk about it. And I think what's more effective is being in person and maybe in a group setting, either here or at someone's office, and going through answering these questions. But just immediately to answer your question, it's tagging and then directly sending the message to Kingsburg Downtown so that it shows up in my notifications.
And that, I'm not just asking that for myself.
No,
I'm
of course.
asking that for everybody.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Because I feel there's a lot of people that don't, they're like, hey, I put
I
all this
posted,
stuff up.
right,
And it never gets shared.
right.
You don't
We
know
do
it's
have-
shared if you don't get it.
We
Exactly,
used to have a
yeah.
graphic that we would post in stories every so often. I'll send you that.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that's exactly what it
And I'll
says.
just
Want to
reshare
be
it.
featured in stories, tag us. I'll send you.
Would it be a possibility for a workshop,
Yeah, 100%.
like with, and maybe even partner with the chamber?
Yeah.
Because I know that was a conversation a lot with the chamber too. Like, honestly, if I see something, like you could post it, but if I read it, but honestly, I would need someone to show me
Yeah.
how to really do it. So I don't know if that's a possibility, like for all the businesses, not just for us, but like
Right.
do a workshop on a.
If we could set a date, a couple months in the future, notify everyone, I'll be there, I'll come up with sort of the program that we're going to
Because,
talk
I mean,
about.
that's
and then
really
we
the
can do
way,
that.
that's the way the businesses are going. If you're trying to grow your business or even have a voice in it, social media is where it's at. And some
Yeah.
of us, maybe older people, may not
Yeah, and
know
everyone's
exactly where
business
to go.
needs a different,
Yeah.
like you might not need to advertise for your business, but you want to just do it for like public awareness.
Right. Well,
If
and
you
yeah,
feel-
I don't need to really advertise, but I need people to find me
Yeah.
when they
And it's
need to
good for
come to my
engagement,
store.
too.
So,
On Instagram right now, if you go to downtown and you hit announcements, the bubble,
Yeah.
it shows you how to.
That's where it is
Yeah,
in there.
it's still there. I had put
Okay.
it in like 2021.
Yeah.
But
So
people
I can
don't always
resend that
check
to our
those.
closed
You could just resend
render,
those,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your partnership, we appreciate you. Okay, moving on to item number 5, webpage and 5 performance update. This is brought by me, possible action. Talking about our money and our responsibility with these folks' money. I was called by the chamber the other day, and they said, hey, do you guys have a map? And this is going to tie into number 7 here. Do you guys have a map of people in the district where folks could go shop? And I said, no, we don't. And they said, well, we went on your webpage, and there was nothing, and we had a little problem navigating your webpage. And so we just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that a little bit. And I said, okay. So, and
Do they
there were
have
some
a map on
businesses.
theirs? Do they have a map of chamber members?
I don't know that they have a map on theirs. They must not, because they asked us for that. Yeah, so she asked us if we could partner into like trying to work this out, that they could have something to hand out. Good morning, Mr. Gerke.
Good morning.
So my thing, first of all, is our webpage, and there are some businesses on there. Did we not vote that they would, do some maintenance, not just on the backside, but on the front side too?
The front side maintenance we approved. I gathered the list of businesses that we need to add. There's 37. So we didn't approve a budget for 37. I don't think we had any idea it was that many until we got the license fee thing
And-
last month.
Okay.
37 new businesses, and I don't have any photos yet. So I was wondering, I know you had said that Craig had a Dropbox. I still need that because they can't do anything until we give them photos. I just
We've
recently
given them
sent.
photos, and we gave them a
They
stick.
gave us okay, can you put it in the Dropbox that they created? Because she wants me to tell her what photos, and I don't have any photos. I don't have access to any photos at
Okay.
all.
I don't know that he's gonna have new businesses.
No,
in
not
that,
businesses,
okay.
but the front page update.
Okay.
I can't even do that yet because they have to be formatted a certain way, and I don't have any photos to tell her this one's viable for that. And then also, what do we want to do, because there's 37 businesses that aren't on there, and it's $100 a business to update that. So I could not possibly just pick 10, you know, so what do we want to do? A big part of it is businesses that exist inside another business, so we never quite decided as a board what we want to do with that. So in salons, each individual professional has their own thing. In co-op stores, each individual has their own license. So do we create one listing for that salon or co-op and everyone's included on it, on that page? And then maybe we can get away with saying that's one page instead of 8 or 9 pages?
I think we could justify that quite simply by saying to that business member, because the average business member, their business license is probably, Abigail, under $100.
Right,
around
that was my
$100.
concern, was like some of the hair
So-
ones I know are $50 a
Yeah,
year.
so, once they pay for that, we pay for that, and we give them one posting through Mr. Quinn, then their budget's gone,
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
And
so-
that's when people ask, you know, why does it cost so much to be in the bid? Here you go. This is why.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we want it formatted for, and also it'll help people locate them. If you put a small maker on their own, people are gonna be driving down Draper to look for that.
Right.
But if you put that they're located inside this other business, it may be actually better for them to be found.
Yeah.
Okay, so format business within business. But also, I don't know if this is what you're gonna suggest with this. What do we want to do with this? Because if we're gonna be diving into 37 new listings, we don't have the budget approved already. Is this where we look elsewhere, or what do we want?
Well, I
This
just
is a
feel like
big
there's a
project.
huge communication gap.
But they've asked us, to be honest with you, they've asked us for just photos. They don't do anything until you tell them what to do. So they aren't gonna refresh it until you say, put A in there. They have to know what you want. And we don't have anything to give them right now. We haven't given them.
I disagree, because we have given them, and she explained to me that she received Craig's photos. I even gave a fire stick at one point.
Okay, how do I get access to those?
I don't know. This
And
is
are we
this is
paying
the
them for the-
discontent.
Because
This
they've
is the
created a
disconnect.
Dropbox for you, me, and I think Lauren Cooper, and there's nothing in it. I have nothing to go off of.
I know,
So I did recently share it with Quinn, just recently, so nothing's been added yet, but.
but my problem is that my problem is that they should do a little more than just ask.
Okay,
We've asked them to come down. No. We've asked them to have a conversation. They will only talk to one person.
they did offer to
Wait.
come the following month, they just couldn't come that one meeting that we asked for. So I will just say that. I don't disagree, we have a
Yes.
conflict of, getting things done, but
Yeah.
the wall
But
is
yet they take the
our
money.
part too.
Yeah, but they take the money every month.
For
And
back
in
end.
good conscience, I would not take money for flowers every month and not do it.
Yeah,
Well, and on the back, even though it's back end that we're paying them for every month,
uh-huh,
like, they're doing the least possible work. Like,
Okay.
how hard is it if you're on the back end and you notice the pictures are 2 years old on a website, you got paid $24,000 to put together? How hard is it to say, I need some new photos, please.
So how many times do they have to ask for them though? Because they have asked us.
But
many
I
times.
saying
had
that she
given
gave
them
them.
to
She
her.
gave them.
She acknowledged
She
it to me
asked
that
me
she
to
had
pick
them.
the photos, and I said I don't have the photos. I've asked for them too.
And this is
But that's
where
part of the
this is where the
communication
problem.
problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem. First of all, they wanted to charge us to come down and take the pictures, and we said nope, we can do it.
Yeah, 'cause we
went
already
and
paid
did it.
him. Yeah.
We went and did it. We
Yeah.
did it for free. I sent her the photos. She says I want them a different process
Mm-hmm.
way. We sent them a different process way. I physically gave them photos.
Okay. All right. Well, see if
Now
can
she
put
says
them,
no.
'cause I've asked, and yeah.
Yeah, now she says no. And then when I try to have a conversation with her, she will not.
So what would you rather? Do you want to move on
I
to
don't
another
know. I
firm?
mean, I'm
or-
just like, I'm frustrated because we have spent a lot of money with them, and
Yeah, and in the
the
very
website that
meeting
people
2
still
years
can't
ago,
navigate.
when we sat there and went over what we want on the website, the map was super expensive, and we all said we didn't want it. So that's the short answer of why there's no map, because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it wasn't in the budget at the time.
yeah, it was not
And
in the
and
budget.
it wouldn't matter because the map changes every single day.
Yeah, it does.
Literally.
But I just feel like we're, okay, the definition of insanity is doing the same
Yeah.
thing over and over and
Sure.
never getting a different, okay, this is what we do. Every month we come back to Five's performance.
Okay, well, I spent a good hour on what we need to do to update it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 37 businesses. So what do I need the direction too from the board? What do you guys want to do with it?
And are
Do you
there-
want it updated or?
Of those 37, like you said, can we consolidate?
Yeah, we can consolidate some of them, so we're going to be about 20 different listings. Yeah.
And they want $1,000.
For example, there's 5 new restaurants downtown, which is super exciting, but $500 just for those. you
And they
know,
want
so-
$100,
per business to update the listing, yeah. So if we're gonna,
Approved $1,000.
we approved 10, yeah. But I couldn't do anything with 37.
Turned in- Maybe 10 have turned in the forms to go on the website, but not 30.
Yeah.
There hasn't been.
Yeah, but some of these have been downtown for a year
Yeah.
because we haven't
turned in
updated
our
it in 2
form.
years.
We turned in our form right away.
So we only do
It's
10,
been
the
sitting
first
there since
10
last
that
May,
paid.
September.
No, first 10 that turned in the paper.
Well, yeah, first 10 that did the paper.
Like, you know.
We turned ours in right away. It was like, I want to be on the website. And
Yeah.
here we are in June,
Yeah.
May. This was in September, it was one of the first things I did. I'm paying for this, I'm gonna be on the website. And
Sure.
I've asked a few times how to get a picture out there, because if we're gonna be on the website, then I want to properly be presented on the website for whatever we're paying. And I'm sure there are other businesses in that position where they've turned in their information.
Well, we ended our contract with the photographer that did all the photos. So then my point of bringing up the thing with Quinn, like 2 months ago, was can we ask Quinn for the photos because we're paying him for the content? But technically, we're not paying him to be a photographer, so that was kind of where I asked for that to see, and he said yes.
Yeah, so if you guys give me a list of the new businesses that you need headshots of or whatever, just let me know and I'll go take care of
Or
it.
just what, because most of them, not all of them, have had some kind of representation on social media already, so you probably already have photos,
Yeah, I may.
like a ribbon cutting or
Right,
something.
and, yeah, and then also we can double that, so, if I'm getting a new headshot of Teresa, who's a new business, we can also, put that on social media too, so
Yeah.
it'll be covered under what I do already.
But then we still have a problem because there's at least 20 and we only budgeted for 10.
Yeah, so Leslie, what are you thinking? Like, this would be the time to switch because this is gonna take hours of work to dive into them, so we don't wanna do that if we're gonna just switch in 2 months, So,
What's the process for switching?
we haven't ever done that.
It's a process, right? It's not just.
my thought process is that I would be willing to say, here's every photo, again, here's everything. I would exercise a little good faith, but going forward, I mean, I just want, they gave us a great sales pitch, but on the backside, they're just ghosting us. I just feel like, I've been so disappointed. I mean, we never ever wanted these stock photos. And they kept telling us, nope, we're gonna put this in, we're gonna put this in, and I know she has this, and they don't follow through with what they say they're gonna do for us.
Can you just forward me that email that you sent her, even if it was 2 years ago, if you still have it with the photos?
We had a
That'll
conversation.
help me a lot.
Yeah. I call her, because I'm like, I need to have this conversation with you.
She
And
did
now
ask me,
won't-
she hadn't
Yeah.
heard back from me since February because I don't have the 10 businesses. Because first off, after we went off last month's list, there were several large businesses downtown that hadn't paid as of today of last month, but they paid the very next day. So they wouldn't have even been on the website, and they're large staple businesses. So how do you be like, well, we had a cutoff and then we switched it and added, it's just a lot of work to have this is the final
I
day.
hate the thought of starting over.
Well, I don't know
But
if I
I
have to
also-
start over. Can't you move it or no?
Don't know.
Because
I think,
didn't
yeah, that's the
Jason?
question you gotta ask is,
Can we
do you
move it?
own it? If you
Right.
own it, all you simply have to do is find another hoster
And
and
then
a, and a maintainer. And there's
Do we
a
have
few
to
of
put
those
that
that
out
happen to
today?
be bid members,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
but
saying.
Yeah.
he did come in and have a presentation for us,
Yeah.
but we don't have numbers because we have to put a.
If you already have a built site like that somebody needs to maintain, it's cheap.
And he was saying that his particular business, for example, does a monthly fee without billing you per person. So then if somebody joins, could they potentially be added on the website within the next 30 days?
And his answer
That-
was yes.
Yeah, but it would cost us more monthly, but it wouldn't cost us this every 6 months, this $1,000 of maintenance of front-end maintenance.
I mean, I'm a huge person in saying that I always want to keep all of our business within this district. I'm like, there's no reason for all of us to go outside of this district for goods and services, if at all possible. Unfortunately, when his bid came in, we did not have the money for
Yeah,
that.
it was like
Yeah,
double or triple.
It was
the-
$20,000 more or something like that. But now, if there's a way to move it back into our district, I mean, that's what we're here for, to support ourselves. So, in a way, this would be my proposal. That there are 2 people in our district that do this,
At least two.
Yeah, probably more than.
Pointer and who?
Are they bid?
There's somebody in our
Yes.
thing that does graphic design that I just saw that I didn't know about. It's called Grace Design, I think, something like that. It's
Yeah,
a,
we can do.
they were
we can do the
listed as a
hosting
graphic
and everything
design.
too. We're just not creators of websites. But if you already have a website created, we could maintain it easily.
but so do we have to put it out for people to submit?
Yes.
Let's do that then. We don't have, do we have to pick one?
No.
So we could put it out and decide to stay, so what would be the harm?
Well, don't we,
Yeah.
we need to first find out if we own it and can we
Okay.
move it? That's where I would
If you
go.
don't own it and you have to start over, you're gonna spend $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah.
Right, again, okay, so just, I can ask, do we own it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we own it, then let's put it out there. I mean, that's being good stewards anyway.
Yeah.
To
And
find out,
also-
where we can spend our money the most effectively.
And say that we're really looking for something that can be maintained,
More fluidly.
Yeah, fluidly, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think in all honesty, I think when they took on this project, they had maybe not the knowledge of what we were going to really expect, because we are a very fluid, fast-paced kind of.
And granted, we didn't know what to expect.
No, we didn't either. It's a learning
I don't
process.
think we knew there would be 180
Yeah.
businesses. Like the other one, the other website that they do that's Clovis, that's so similar
Mm-hmm.
to us, is an opt-in district, and they have 50 or something, so
Yeah.
we weren't comparing apples to oranges.
Right.
And you gotta remember, a website is supposed to be a little bit more of a static thing. That's not your constant changing platform. That's where your social media comes in. So you have to
Right.
reference your social
Where
media
it's
a
fresh
lot
and
on
fun.
your website.
Yeah.
That's
Like an
the important
Instagram
part.
plugin would be cool, because then
Exactly.
it's just
Okay.
really-
You can put an Instagram feed right on your website.
yeah.
Okay, so our action on this, it would be if you find out if we own
Okay,
this,
so
if we
just-
can roly poly or not,
Okay. Well, I can email that
and then
right
we'll
now.
go from there, okay? Okay, number 6, downtown trash can discussion, possible action, okay. I have my first bid in, but I need to know for sure if we're gonna have the funds through the city. so that they can give me a number on that. But in doing this, I know way more about trash cans than I thought. My husband brought to me a company in Sanger, which would keep us local. He did a little research for me too on the side, and we can get the same thing. And I have a phone call in with them for this afternoon to talk with them about what we want, exactly what we want. They have exactly the same trash can, but the rain guard is just a smidge different, and they're going to give us a quote as well. So sorry about that, but I was like, they're local. They do. It's Kings River Castings, and they do all the work for Disneyland and everywhere else. And I was like, and our shipping would be less.
I've used.
Yeah. So we have a conversation with them this afternoon. So is that what you're going to bring to us today?
I was gonna talk a little bit about that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but you're more than welcome to come up and speak on
Yeah,
this
we'd love to
discussion.
hear
Yeah.
your thoughts.
Yeah.
so like I said, our biggest concern was with the rain guard. Keeping it local's nice. If you need help picking them up,
Yeah.
I make that drive daily, so just putting that out there if you need assistance picking them up
I
and bringing
cut
them down.
shipping
So
down even more.
Yeah.
cut them down even more. So.
I know. I was like, I bet you I could get a box truck, a hot shot from someone.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Can you tell me who you are?
Oh, I'm sorry. Daniel Galvez, Public Works Director.
so my husband asked me, he's straight up, he was like, did you call Kings River? I'm like, well, you know, I've been talking about this for 2 months and you could have said something. So we have a conversation with them starting today, this afternoon, about what their quote would be. It's the same thing, the blue, the rain guard, the whole shebang. Okay.
And the other comment, I know, I think you guys have discussed it, and I don't mean to maybe throw some lighter fluid on a fire, but the blue, I know we have the blue and the red lids and the recycling situation thing, but I said we can get it figured out, so.
So you like the blue?
Little both.
Okay.
I mean, it is recycling color, but it is awfully pretty.
Yeah,
I think the black lid makes it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at in that. So that's why I don't have a final quote for you guys today, because I found something else too. Okay.
You guys already passed the motion to purchase 30 of them at $27,000, not
Okay.
company specific.
Okay.
No company specific, right?
Okay, we're good
Alrighty.
then.
Yeah, you
All right.
guys did that April 2nd.
Okay, that's the one I listened to. Okay, so that's where we're at there. Okay, item number 7. Chamber called and requested like a downtown shopping. Mr. Gerke.
Okay, so I think maybe that got asked wrong of you guys. We are wanting to partner, for lack of better terms, on a downtown map. We've started something, let me see if I can pull it up, please work. This is, again, just a sample.
You gotta
And
look-
yes, these are, I did put a space in there. These are expensive to make, but if you know the right people, you can put them together pretty simply. So this is kind of a sample of what we're working on currently, and we're gonna be able to pull this data, in our instance, we can pull it straight from Growth Zone, our membership platform. So as people update their own membership information on the website, it'll populate the map accordingly. And when it comes to what we could do with it bid specific is obviously we can add all the bid members that aren't chamber members. My goal is to actually put every business on here to some extent. It may just simply list their name without much details, but we at least have them on there. When you go to it, it's going to give you basically the view of Kingsburg. I have just a few random ones that we've entered in here so far. But as you zoom in, it's going to give you more and more. As you mouse over, it'll tell you what
Cool. I love
what is
it.
there. We can even they can put as much information on there as they want. They can link to a website. There's a lot there, and it's mobile friendly. As you walk around town, it'll know where you're at. You can go, oh, what is that place? And you can pull their website up. You can pull their social media up. Maybe you're here just looking for food, so you only want to see the restaurants. You can filter down to the restaurants. So really, it's just a matter of putting it together some time and gathering the correct data that we need, similar to the problem you guys have with the website. of getting the businesses to give you their info. And I can even get creative with, we can embed it in the, your guys' website. And we could have it so that it starts out already just looking like that, for instance. So it's specific just to downtown.
That's so
Perfect.
cool. What if you put like an icon, like a star or something that designated like chamber members, like some, you know, you could like.
Yeah, we could
something
change,
like-
yeah, we could be
That
creative,
looks
like
so great.
red icons are chamber members and blue icons are not, or
Mm-hmm.
yellow is bid members. I mean, there's a lot we can do with it. It's very, very simple.
That
Okay.
looks wonderful. Because it is kind of just like a Google map, because there's no way to create anything paper-wise and
Well-
anything that can't be updated literally monthly.
We looked at,
Update.
Yeah.
Good key.
yeah,
Right.
this is updated in really, honestly, in real time.
Like real time, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
if they're part of our database, if not, we'll have to figure out another way to do that, but, it's not too hard to send updates in, and it's just a little bit of coding. Cause as you know, with Google Maps, this is based on Mapbox, but it's using the same information that you get from Google Maps, and, you know, as you zoom in, you get things like the historic jail, and you might get the library and whatnot, but it literally just has the name there, it doesn't give you anything else. So all those companies that try really hard to get their information added to Google Maps and get it to show up correctly, they're gonna struggle. It's a hard win, but we can just do it instantly for them, so, yeah.
And I'm sorry, did you say that you're looking for like a partnership or to?
Potentially. I've been doing it myself as a chamber volunteer, working on it, so I don't know if there's really much of a cost to it. I think it's gonna be more just ensuring we have the right information up there and working with the members to get that information.
Thank you, sir. I mean, she did mention partnering. Can we work together on this? Maybe she just didn't realize what you were doing.
The chamber is, we're trying really hard to do things as organically as we can because money is a problem.
Yeah.
Marketing is, well, insanely expensive, right? And it is what it is. It's no dig on the people doing it. It's just, it's expensive to do, especially when you're trying to market a community. I mean, it's pretty easy to market what you know in your store or your business, but then when you're trying to include everybody in that, it adds a whole new complexity of layers to it, so.
Yeah. Well, while you're there, stay there.
Oh, yeah, food truck.
Item number 8, chamber request to partner with food truck. Just some of the board, this is not a formal board request for me. It was like some of their, the ladies in the office and then some of their board members were just talking about they're looking to have another food truck, and they asked if there was a way that we would have a like another line dancing night. My initial reaction was like I didn't want us to partner and have a line dance, and just in this conversation, I didn't want us as the bid to have a line dancing night when you were so close to fundraising a line dancing fundraiser for fireworks within 20 days of that, or 10 days of that. I didn't want us to take away from Chambers' fundraising event.
So I think a better way to ask the question is, just like it says, partner on a food truck event.
Right.
Sometime this year.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like, whether we just have something downtown, maybe nothing in particular, no entertainment related
Right.
to it, or we get a band or what. We use Fresno Street Eats to help supplement our food vendors at a lot of events. And so this is kind of our way of saying thank you, because then they get to make some money off of the money we take from them during those events. So we've done them before, obviously, in the park. We've done them downtown. We've done them a lot of different ways. What seems to be our biggest struggle with them is ensuring it's not a conflict with other things that are already going on in town. Whether it's a homecoming game or, I mean, we've ran into those conflicts before. There's just far too many things going on in town to avoid them all. but we figure if we can pull as many people together to plan that one thing, we can avoid a lot of those conflicts.
Last year was really good because they had food trucks in the park, and then we ran the trolley back and forth, and then we had line dancing downtown. So our downtown restaurants were full. We had over close to 200 people line dancing, and then we had everybody in the park eating too, and that was a really good seamless event. So I would hope that we could partner with them on something going forward for one night. I just didn't want to take away from your fundraising events.
No,
that was me
that's-
being my thought,
And that's our point too, is we want to make sure that when we're planning things together, we're planning them
Yeah.
together. So we can work offline on
Yeah.
what that
So-
might look like.
It's like just to pull a board here, not necessarily make a formal motion. Is that something that you guys would endorse going forward this summer sometime?
Yeah, we already had kind of talked about doing the downtown summer kickoff. I think we already said May, so whatever day.
Okay.
I think it sounds like I think it's good to have something that we plan in the summer
Okay.
as also Christmas time.
Alrighty. Question, sir? Yes. Yeah.
Daniel, Public Works Director. So just as you're kind of going through the planning, I just wanted to give the bid an update, and also the chamber since Reggie's here. So our Draper Waterline project, it's a project that we identified through our water model. So we will be starting that May 20th.
Yep.
So it's after the Swedish Festival. And it should run through mid-June. And then after it gets a little warmer, we are going to do another street overlay project. So the project is going to work at night, so as you're planning your street eats, just either contact Abby so that she can kind of loop me in and we can kind of coordinate anything else that's going out. But we are going to be sending out a letter and also have a new webpage on our website with the QR code that we're going to be sending out that you can post. That way it's going to have pretty much updates on any public works project that's going on. So if you need info on what's going on, what projects are we doing, you can hit that QR code and send you that page. So like I said, I know it's a little hectic and a little scary of what's going on. Like I said, 9 to about 6 a.m. is what they're going to be working. There may be some water interruptions as well. Like I said, we're trying to limit those and work with the contractor to find the exact times. And once that happens, you'll get like a 24 to 72 hour notice depending on the work that gets done, if you're going to have any type of interruptions. So,
Who did that bid go to?
RT Nelson?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another, does that include the sidewalks and the bike lane and all
No,
that?
for the overlay, yes. And the sidewalks, they'll remain open. So it's a conversation that we've had with them because portions of Draper, while they're working, are going to be closed. But we did instruct them to make sure that they keep the sidewalks open. So
Great. Thanks.
What's the dates on that?
May 20th to about June 15th, 16th.
Okay, so right after Swedish.
Yeah, right after. So they wanted to start after car show, and there was kind of a
21st.
delay, and we didn't want to have it impact Swedish Fest at all. So
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Daniel. Okay, so put your thinking caps on and come up with a couple ideas. And Reggie, when you guys have dates, let us know. Okay. What is that, number 9? Number 9, potential general update presentation to council. We touched on this, I think, meeting before last, that we've never really gone before council and just kind of give them a synopsis of the work that we've done in the past 3 years and the challenges that we've faced, and just give them, I know that they get a report every meeting from our liaison, and I come sometime, I go to city council meetings some nights when they're gonna do that, just in case council has questions or whatever. But I would like for us to get put on this schedule, Miss Abigail, so that we could come before and say, here's everything in totality if you have questions, and just share with them what we've done. And I'm going to be really honest, if they have questions, I'm gonna like, we're not exactly beloved, but we are doing good things, and we're moving forward, and just give them a list, because I know that there's always that question. Well, what have they done? What have they done? What have they done? And so I think publicly we need to come out and say, you voted us in, you helped us create this, and this is what we have done. Could we do more? Of course. But, and maybe if we, in a public setting like that, because maybe not that many people come to council meetings, but a lot of people will watch them afterwards and during, and then so maybe that would start a conversation as well, a greater, larger conversation. So that's, Abigail, if we can get,
What are you thinking? So May 15th.
that's next week.
Yeah, I don't know if there's, so I have to, talk to Alex. I don't know.
Yeah.
But of course you guys will do it.
June is fine.
So June, the first meeting is going to be on Tuesday, because it will be Rafer Johnson's promotion that Wednesday. It will be June 5th. I don't have a calendar.
June
The
4th, the
fourth.
same day
Fourth.
as our meeting. We
Yeah.
have it in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next one will be June 19th. Those meetings are pretty full, so as long as you guys are fine with that, because that's when we do our budget, our like, especially the June 19th meeting is
Yeah.
really long. So, if you would prefer to not get everything ready to go by Thursday this week for the.
I prefer not to. I have a lot of balls in the air.
If June 4th works for you guys.
June 4th.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we're dark the first meeting in July. So if you want to do it before the new fiscal year, then probably June 4th would be the
June
best.
4th, okay. Are you gonna be here? You'll be gone, right?
I will not be gone by then.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome, thank you. Number 10, Ms. Buckner.
Yes. I would like to propose that we order badges with our name and the bid, or T-shirts, whatever we want, if we're at an event or if we're out,
I love this idea.
like if we're like what we've
Ribbon
discussed,
cutting.
yeah. Or people come to us and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And then we come to Quinn and we say, "Hey, I just feels really official that I have a badge." It kind of just gets you in the door. I would be willing to do just a badge if we want to wear our own clothes. Personally, I did not care to wear the chamber T-shirts, but I always liked wearing my badge. So whatever you guys want to, whatever you feel is, I would definitely just go for the badges. But if T-shirts, if we could choose our own style or something like that, but whatever suits you.
I like
guys.
the badge idea because when we go to like chamber ribbon cuttings, it's hard to realize that the bid is there
Recognize,
because
yeah.
it's just like a bunch of business owners that are here together, but not representing like the bid. Michelle mentioned this in passing as we left last month, so I emailed the gal who I know does them. So this is the quote that she sent over to give us like a number.
Yes.
Here it is.
Very good.
And I just sent it to Abigail.
Puku Brothers,
Okay.
they make, or Rose, they make all of ours.
Okay, so maybe we could get a quote from them too. But this was just like a rough idea. $13 a badge for like the standard size, I think is the top and middle.
Are they
Like
magnet?
the 1.5, they're magnetic. So you can wear like Steve's shirt right now, or me, I like to wear something from my shop instead of wearing a t-shirt, like you said, or a polo or whatever.
It's
In
kind of
June, like
June,
June looks so nice too. So do you add the magnet? I think
Yes.
it's a really,
No, I think
that's
it's
a
a
cool
great
idea,
idea.
Michelle. So this was just she said there was like a one-time setup fee, was the $35. We didn't need any high resolution artwork because we have it. And then shipping, she's in Fresno. But I did 8 because she said how many. So it was like 7 of us and Quinn since he represents us. So I just put 8 on there.
That's amazing. Yes, very good.
But so if you wanted to reorder them, like because somebody leaves the board, it's $13. You have to pay that setup every time. I don't know, but we could totally see what they Kula does.
Yeah, let's see what Russ and he's
A bid
Yeah.
member
Bid
in our
member.
district.
Use a paying bid number.
That's
Yeah.
a paying.
It's
bid
always nice
member.
to start with that.
Abigail, do you want to contact him, or do you want me to? Since it's,
If you want to, you
well, I can. I'm just saying I would like to,
Yeah.
not. I would like to participate and not always push off the.
We put Abby to work for sure.
I'm just saying,
No,
if I
that would
can
be,
get.
that would be great.
Okay.
And just make sure he knows that you guys have your, I don't have a copy of your bid graphic.
Yeah, we have
So
it.
it's not this, he already has all the city stuff, but I don't think he has the bid.
Yeah, we have a whole kit we could send if we need to.
Yeah.
Okay. I will do that, and I'll have a proposal next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Michelle. Okay. 11, reports from board members.
attended a Swedish Festival meeting last night, the committee. They have a map of the parade route, and then the vendors will be down the middle of the street, at the middle of Draper, with the exception of the cultural village there in the middle. I would like to send out that map to all bid members, since it's all downtown and within our district. Also a list of street closures, which the chamber has, that all listed, when the street is going to be closed, and then the events. Just a packet for all bid members to receive. If Abigail would do that, if we would do, I think that, once again, I'd also like us to request an example. Thursday night, is that the 16th, is the Pea Soup and Pancake event downtown. It goes until about 8:30, would you say, Jim? About 8:30. Request that anybody that wants to remain open during those hours can remain open, because we have 400 to 500 people in town for that event, and maybe they'll wander around and if somebody's wandering around, it's nicer to have an open store than it is closed type of thing. But I'd like us not to do anything, but just encourage. If you have a business in the downtown core that you would like to remain open, here's the events that are going to be happening in the evening, type of thing.
Is dinner at the park, or is it downtown that night?
That night is downtown.
It's downtown, yeah.
Right, actually based in front of Casaro's.
Yeah. I know that there is one business downtown that's going to have an event going on that night.
Yes. So the other thing is, this was Stacy Smith and Sharon put together a little flyer of the events and the times and all that. Mm-hmm. On the back of it, there's all the restaurants are listed and their address, and all the boutique gift shops mm-hmm. Are listed, which is kind of nice, and their address type of thing. The only thing that they did leave off, they asked me, I said, I don't want the real estate, that on there. They did leave off the salons and barbershops, which some of those sell retail type stuff too, and we should have probably included those, but hey, it's a start, we'll mm-hmm. next time we'll get it added type of thing.
Maybe next time it says, for a full list of businesses, visit, and then it has the website with the
and
map.
Look at our map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because how do you put 180 on that flyer?
Well, I didn't take part in the discussion that we had on websites, because there's 3 websites that I dislike the most. One of them is RPS Real Estate. I think it's horrible. The second is ours, the bids, and the third is the chambers. I don't like any of them. I'm not a techie person. I don't know. I looked up gifts on the chamber the other day, and Heritage and Trinkets and Treasures came up. No other. Maybe there's no other chamber member.
They're not chamber members, because I got that big, nice directory that they just made.
Yeah.
And I'm the only shop, and that's a chamber member. So yay me for paying for the chamber.
Reggie and his thought of including bid members on the map deal will give that. I looked up food and restaurants, and there was like 15 of them.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you'd go to the downtown page, because those are the people who are downtown, and the chamber is people who are in the chamber.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah.
So to kind of help out with what Steve is saying there is, yes, if they're not a chamber member, they're not going to show up, obviously, on the chamber's website. That's just how it is. But I think what we can do is within our website and within our membership database, maybe this is a partnership opportunity with the bid, is get all of your businesses also in there. Obviously, that they're not a chamber member necessarily, but we can categorize them differently. So at least we can start capturing that data, and they can update their own data.
Yeah.
And Quinn can use that as he needs it, and we can kind of make that a
Partnership.
clearinghouse to keep membership information a little easier.
I am a member, but there's a problem with my, I'm under Flores.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
there's
I'm under
another
Flores.
services thing.
But,
Your
Um,
email address is
under-
hidden
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mine
you
is under
cannot
like
find.
apparel or
Yeah.
something, I think. Yeah.
I am
And
a
I'm the
member,
only
but
one
it
under
doesn't show
apparel.
up,
Yeah.
so we're
And-
working
and-
on it.
And one
I
of
think
the
you were
tricks.
on another category. Like,
That's why.
Did I show up?
well,
Yeah.
I think it was under Flores. or something
Okay,
like
cool.
Yeah, and one of the
That's
tricks
why I
with
hate
that is it really depends on the member going in and telling
Checking the
us
box.
what categories they are, because we don't know exactly how to categorize
Yeah.
everybody, so we want them to update their own
Yeah.
information,
If
and then
you're
it gets them in the
trying
right
to shop,
place.
like your first box that you check,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna put
Okay,
something else.
and so back to my
No, I
original,
put Flores.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why
back
I-
to my original comment, is that something we want to do, is ask Abigail to get that out to all bid members regarding the upcoming festival and all that?
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like with, a couple months ago, we gave Quinn, helped us like a list of upcoming events to share, and Abigail emailed it out to the whole district, because scheduling wise, if we're gonna stay open late, I need to know like a month in it, like before I make the schedule. So any kind of, I think it's good, like an optional suggestion, like
Yeah.
stay open late for these, there's gonna be a lot of people, you might wanna be open, suggestion.
And then street closures, the chamber's really good about dropping something by my office. Well, maybe two people see it, but if you go online and you're looking at your email, then everybody,
Didn't we just get an email about the parade route? If you're a chamber member. Yeah, if you're a chamber member,
Oh, so they
yeah,
have
we
like
got
a
the
page
email
for
about the
public
the parade route. I wonder if we could just send that to Abby. Can you send that to Abby? Yeah? Okay,
that might be the same map I
It's
saw
like a,
last
like
time.
a government
Yeah.
software. or something.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
And
Anyone else?
I want to add something
Yeah.
about the festival. This block will be closed early on Friday. We have so much to put out for the cultural village. And even though I get up at 3 on Swedish Festival morning to finish doing stuff and bringing stuff to the park, et cetera, I really we need to get started early because we have a lot to do. And one other thing, I don't know if the other blocks are bothered with speeding bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
They are, I believe they're battery operated and they go extremely fast. And there's one kid in particular that just speeds down the sidewalk. And I think he goes around the block because we see him again and again. And there's actually 3 of them that are constantly doing it. And we had a Swedish tour bus come, and there were 30 people standing between my store and my table. And here comes this bicycle speeding right through this group of 30 people. So it's a little scary. And I have to tell you, I called Quinn when this bus was coming, because I thought he might want to film, it's kind of interesting. And he became the celebrity. Everybody wanted a picture with Quinn. And I have to tell
And you too, I'm
that
sure.
in Sweden, the journalists and those people are the celebrities, not the actors.
See, that's why he needs a name badge, guys.
Everybody loves Quinn. And then if your wife is with you, that's just a bonus when
Yeah.
she's with you. So she's lovely.
Thank you, June. Any other business? Okay.
Oh, Daniel had to leave, it looks like, but he sent me an email, if you guys wanna see it real fast. It looks like he had gotten a quote from the Sanger company, last year.
Mm-hmm.
So just while you guys are here, it looks like February of last year.
For the same thing?
I don't see a picture of it.
Wow.
45-gallon liner included, blue with a ring top. So for 12 of them out the door, it was $18,640.
So that's like 1,500 a can.
Yeah. But I don't see the picture, so I don't know if I don't know what he was looking at compared to what you guys were looking at.
They have the same one. The rain cap is a smidge different, but they have the same one as what we showed last time. So, thanks, Craig. All righty. Okay. So if you'll send me that so that I can kind of compare what bid he gives me. Okay, look at that.
I emailed 5 right now, so I sent it,
Cool.
let her know where we're at, and we want to know, do we own it? And the board is considering our budget options, so what's the process if we want to move it?
Okay.
So I'll let you know, maybe I could forward it. and
Yeah,
she
just
could
forward to her.
it
and
to
she
me.
can email it. Maybe. I don't know. I think they just have, I think they grew a
Well, and I
ton
explained
and
too that
they
we
don't
had,
really know what they,
we had
they're
an
overwhelmed.
excess number with 37 businesses to add, and that's not, 37,000 is not feasible. So what other options do we have? Do we own it? Can we move it? So
Yeah.
I'll send that out.
Yeah, yeah, because we can't keep going
We
like
have to
that.
explore options, we have to.
It's gotta be, yeah, gotta be something we can do. Always is something. Okay, so we're gonna adjourn, my friends, at 9:25, and our next meeting is June 4th. The day before graduation. And you can all come clean flowers if you want this week.